everybody, welcome back. It's day 4 of the 21 convention, London, Europe. My gosh, the men's conference of the century. You guys who are attending now have made it through the whole week. Final speech, Rob Judge coming up all the way from New York. His topic is motivated to date hotter girls, and that's the name of his speech too. And he's a pretty motivated guy. So hey, give him a round of applause all the way from New York. Please welcome Rob Judge.
Peter, thank you. That was awesome. Hold on. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I know you guys are probably tired. You guys have heard some great speakers. And, you know, the speech I wanted to give, originally I had planned this whole PowerPoint, and I tried to memorize it. And I gave, like, a rehearsal speech for this speech like a month ago. And it totally bombed. And I realized the reason it bombed was because this speech really has to come from the heart. You know, what I'm going to talk about is basically how I got motivated to just continue through with cold approach, to continue through to the point where I achieved the success I wanted out of this. And that's what I want to translate to all of you. I want to give you like a kick in the ass today. And I want to give a speech that, honestly, if you don't go out and you don't make this into a lifestyle, you don't achieve your goals, that my annoying Long Island accent is going to annoy the fuck out of you. Because seriously, I mean it. Like, I want to give the kind of speech that you will have absolutely no other choice but to get off your ass and approach hot women, to go out and get that girlfriend you want, to live the lifestyle that you want to live. So I put together a couple, bullet points on my PowerPoint here, just so I don't go off on tangents, which, if some of you know my speeches, I tend to do sometimes. So, all right, so introduction, how to get motivated, right? Because the real benefit of this 21 convention is to get some momentum. Look, like, you guys probably heard some great speakers talk about the tactics, the outer game stuff, the techniques. Not only that, but there's some great material out there, so you probably all know exactly how to pick up women. The thing that's funny about like these conferences is you guys know exactly how to do it. You have the full blueprint. It's not like after this conference is over, me and all the speakers meet up and we're like, all right, guys, let's pull out the real bag of tricks, how to really pick up women. Like we're not telling them. No, it's like that blueprint is already laid out for you. Now the only thing you have to do is translate it into action. Because it's like a fucking contradiction to think that if you know all this stuff about being successful with women and go out and practice, that you won't get better. How could you not get better? It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Like, so many guys have done it. So why can't you? You're not a special snowflake. So that's why all you need right now is for me to kick you in the ass so that you just get out and do it. So, all right. So one of the biggest things that I want the speech to accomplish is I want you to overcome your fear. I want you to overcome your anxiety. I want you to overcome your laziness. Because, that's what will get you success. The biggest barrier most guys have to translating this into a lifestyle is fear, anxiety, laziness. 3 biggest inhibitors. That's the 3 biggest things I see from every guy that comes to my program that when he wants that kick in the ass, that's what I have to get him to overcome. So that's really what the speech is going to be about today. And to get you over your fear, and so that you can start living that lifestyle that you want, you have to start living your life by your own standards. And I'm going to explain exactly what that means in a moment. But first, I want to tell you a story about when this really clicked for me. And the guys who took my live program, you guys are going to be so sick of hearing it. I told the story like 4 times on this program. But there was a very definitive moment when I really started living my life by my own standards. And it was a moment when I was on the 6 train in New York City. And for those of you who've ever been to New York, the 6 train gets like really packed, really crowded, like literally like they cram people in like it's like, human livestock. And I remember I was sitting there, and it was early in the morning, my hair, I was disheveled, I was tired. And I looked up and I saw a girl who was absolutely stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning, maybe standing 20 feet from me. And I saw her and I was immediately taken back by how beautiful this girl was. And immediately, as a thought of approaching her came into my head, so did all the what ifs, right? Like, what if she has a boyfriend? What if I get rejected? What if I know someone on this train that would see me and think I'm a loser for trying to approach this girl? All these what ifs started swirling around. And it paralyzed me. And I said, I can't approach her. But then I started thinking, you know what? I was like, no, fuck it. I have to approach this girl. This girl is she's just too beautiful. And I can't let what these people think really matter. So I started dodging through people, trying to weasel my way like closer to her. And eventually I got right up face to face with her. And when I was right up face to face with her, look at this girl, and she was even more beautiful when I got close to her. And I said to her, I tried to get her headphones out. I said, oh my God, I was like, you were so cute, I had to meet you. And when I said that, I thought I was just telling the truth, but this was like amateur comedy hour on the subway. It was like when the words left my mouth, it was like a bomb detonated. Everyone on the subway started cracking up. Like not even like a chuckle, like people heckling me. Like I remember there was like a big fat woman, and she was sitting like she was sprawled across like 3 seats, and she's like, mm-hmm. She's like, good luck with that line, honey. And this was the shit I'm dealing with, right? And I'm sitting, I'm getting heckled by like this was like this made everyone's day. The hilarity of me thinking a girl was so cute that I wanted to meet her, but it really didn't matter to me, because again, like this girl was kind of into it. She was listening to what I had to say, so I can't, we talked for a little bit. I ended up getting her number. I got that girl out, and I ended up dating that girl. And what really clicked in that moment was, had I given like 1% of a fuck what any of these people had thought about me, if that had affected me in one way, I would have never dated this incredible girl who I dated for like a couple months after that, and she was a great girlfriend. We had a great relationship. And all those experiences, all that amazing, like just amazing, like incredible relationship I had with this girl would have been impossible had I not gotten over my fear, anxiety, and laziness to do something. Because you know what? That's like the great story of Rob approaching the girl on the subway. And there was 100 stories before that or 1,000 stories, or 1,000,000 stories of when Rob did nothing. When Rob sat there and just let the woulda, shoulda, couldas just swirl in his head, and he sat there, and I'm sure like you all have stories like that too. And I want you all to have a story where you see that just girl that's absolutely stunning. The girl that just takes your breath away. The girl that you all got into this to meet. The hotter girls, right? The type of girls that like you see in the marketing copy. Those are the girls that you guys all deserve. Because the fact is, you guys are sitting here, you've come to a conference to better understand women, to better understand yourself, and to better understand how to relate to women. So what guy deserves that hot girl more than you? What, some schmuck at the nightclub? Some fucking sleazy promoter? No, you guys deserve those girls. So those are the girls that you should get. All right, so, it's funny, because I think about that, like that moment on the subway, I think about it a lot. And the reason I think about it a lot, and, for those of you who are familiar with my material, it really formed this real turning point in my head, this fork in the road, that really kind of like, the way I look at approaching women, this is like that definitive moment where I started seeing things for what they were. And what approaching women is that like, you have two choices. Every time you see that gorgeous girl, right, you really have two choices. The choice is that you can live in reality or you can live in fantasy. And the fact is, most guys live in fantasy. And the reason is because we as a culture, we put such a positive connotation on the word hope, right? Think about the word hope. Does anyone ever say like hope sucks? No, hope's the greatest thing ever. People say, oh, I hope to get better. I hope to get better at meeting women. I hope to get, think about the guy who's not at this convention. He said, oh, I hope the right girl will come along, and I hope I can meet the right girl, right? That's as a culture what we think is so great. Ooh, the hope. No, fuck hope. Hope sucks. And hope, like, no, I mean it. Like, that thing is, hope is what's fucking all you guys over. It's why you're not achieving your goals. Because you're living in a little hope land. Oh, not living in reality. No, because you know what? People don't want to live in reality because reality, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes people laugh at you and you don't get the girl. Sometimes you're the creepy guy at the club who's hit on every single girl there and you've got nowhere. Sometimes, like, you find out the girl that you approach is a complete bitch. Sometimes you find out a whole spectrum of reality. But the fact is, like, you could sit in little hope land. You could be like, wow, when I read some more ebooks, that's when I'll approach those girls. Oh, when I just attend like 15 more seminars, that's when I'll approach those girls. No, take the fucking information you're learning at these seminars, translate it into reality. Translate it into something that you can actually tangible results. And if those results suck, who gives a fuck? At least you're living in reality, right? That's the way I look at it. Because every time I'm sitting there and I'm presented that choice, live in hope and live in reality. And I'll make a confession. As a coach, and I'm sure all the coaches can relate to this, sometimes it's hard to approach girls in front of our students because the fact is, like, look, you have a student who looks up to you, who's listening to you, and the fact is, like, I don't know how this girl's going to react. That's the thing. Like, every time I walk up to a girl, it's like dismantling a bomb. Like, I have no idea how she's going to react. Steve's laughing because Steve knows what I'm talking about. Because the thing is, like, look, I still get rejected plenty, you know, I do. I give it my best shot. I throw it all out there, put the cards on the table. I'll give it the best approach I possibly can, but I can't get every girl. Who can? No one can. And the fact is, every time I approach that girl, I had to face that reality that I might get rejected. That the guys I've been coaching, the guys I've been telling, oh, guys, this is how you pick up girls, that I might walk up and a girl might just look at me and be like, no, you know, and turn her back to me. And then I gotta be like, yeah, well, you know, I didn't frame control it well enough, or something like that. Like, you know, that's the thing. But the fact is, you have to live in that reality. And the thing is, a lot of the times when that anxiety comes up, when I'm in front of students, or even if I'm like, you know, in a place, like in a public place where it's maybe on like the train or I'm in a coffee shop, and I see that hot girl, and all those woulda, shoulda, couldas start swirling in my head, all the what ifs, all this fucking noise in my head. I silence that by saying, no, look, you have to live in reality. You have to find out that truth by that girl, because a truth's waiting for you guys. You know, if you guys like, again, if you guys have any of you guys are familiar with my material, I emphasize a lot that idea of the truth. When I see a girl, sure, I see a hot girl. I appreciate her for the beautiful girl she is, but at the same time, there's a truth that's waiting for me with that girl. The truth might be that that girl is the most amazing girl ever, and she's gonna be my next girlfriend. The truth might be she's a complete bitch. The truth might be that, you know, me and her click together, but maybe it just doesn't work out. The truth might be that she's going to reject me right away, but at the same time, I find out that at least I overcame my approach anxiety. There's a million truths waiting for you with every girl you see. But the fact is, if you prefer to live in hope land, if you're in like little fantasy land, hoping I'm going to get better with girls, you don't know shit. Your whole fucking life is a fucking fantasy, and that would suck. You know what? I would rather be a fucking failure than be a mediocre piece of shit who's sitting around being like, oh, I hope I get better. Oh, yeah, I hope. Fuck hope. If there's one like theme from this talk I want you guys to walk away with, fuck hope. Forget it. It's what's holding you back. You know? It's fucking placebo. You know, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know hope too. It fucked me over for a long time. You know, that's the thing. Again, think about it this way too. Hope, it's all predicated in the future, right? Everything about hope is predicated on the idea that, oh, once I get better, that's when things will get good. Once I read this book, that's when things are going to get better. That's when my situation is going to improve. No. The way that your situation is going to improve is every time you face reality. You face reality. And, you know, I want to tell you guys another story about how when I got into this, about how hard it was for me to kind of like face this reality, and why I had no other choice. The story goes back to right when I entered the dating advice industry or community. You know, when I first found out about stuff, because the thing was, I had dated the same girl for 5 years, and you know, she was a great girl, and we broke up one day. And when we broke up, you know, this girl was my childhood sweetheart, right? This was the girl I dated since I was 17 years old. And I broke up with this girl, and it felt like someone had pushed me out of a fucking airplane. I was like, I don't know where to meet women. I don't know how to meet women. I don't know which women to meet. I literally thought, and this is a real thought I had in my head, I might never kiss a girl again. I was like, look, I don't know where I'm going to meet my next girlfriend. I have no idea. So I remember I went where any clueless guy goes, went to the internet, and you know, and before I could even go on and start searching around Google, like, you know, most of these stories end, instead, I went on AOL, and my ex-girlfriend, who I dated when I was like 15 years old or 16 years old, was online. And I was like, holy shit, this is fate. This is great. So I started chatting with her, and it took me a whole hour till I eventually worked up the balls to actually ask her to see a movie with me. But she agreed, and when she agreed, I was ecstatic. You know, I was such a loser back then. I thought that this was like the greatest thing ever. I was like, you know, my heart was racing. I got my car, I had this big shit-eating grin, driving the whole way over to her house. You know, so hopeful. I was like so expectant. I was like, wow, this is gonna be my next girlfriend. This is so great. We're gonna reunite after all these years, and now I never need to worry about this stuff again. And I remember I got to her doorstep, and I rang her doorbell, and I waited for her to answer the door. And when she came to the door, it looked like that girl had locked herself inside a McDonald's for the last 7 years and like tried to eat her way out. Like, yeah, like not even. Like, you guys are laughing. I had to live through this. This girl. It wasn't like she had packed on a few pounds. It wasn't like this girl had gotten chubby, got into college, the freshman 15. No, this girl was like flat out obese. Okay, and I remember just seeing this girl, and I was just like, oh. But then I remember thinking like, well, I can't do much better. You know, like I guess this is what I'm gonna have to settle for this girl. And remember we went on this date, and I took her out to this movie, and you know, at the end, and I kept promising myself, I was like, you got to make a move, because you know, if she's gonna be your next girlfriend, you got to make a move. This is the thing. I was like legitimately considering settling for the obese girl. So at the end of the date, I remember I put my car in park, and I got ready to make my move, and that's where the real humiliation began. I remember I closed my eyes and I puckered my lips and I leaned over to kiss her, and like the whole car must have been up on 2 wheels because she jumped back, and she just had this look of like horror and disgust on her face, and she was like, I don't know what you think this is, Rob, but I am just not attracted to you. And yeah. And I remember when I dropped, you know, Jabba back off at her hut, and you know, and I watched her like waddle back to her doorstep, and I was sitting in my car. That's when it really dawned on me. I was like, I hit rock bottom. I was like, this is pathetic. I was like, I can't even settle. I can't even settle with a girl I don't find remotely attractive. This is like, you know, either I'm gonna get good at meeting women, or I'm gonna be celibate. Those are my choices. My choice was either to live in hell or to walk through hell. So I was fully, when I got into this, you fucking better believe I was fully ready to accept reality. There was no options for me. My option was accept reality or be celibate. But I didn't have this fucking little cocoon of mediocrity of like, you know, girls like I'd like talk to or whatever. No, like if I was ever gonna meet my next girlfriend, I was gonna have to face reality every fucking day. Every moment, every time I went out of my house and like I wanted to get better at this, I had to face that reality. Every time I saw that hot girl, choice, fantasy, reality, celibate, girlfriend. You know, life that I'm settling for or life that I want to live. Mediocrity or success. And the fact is, like I said, I had no fucking choice. No choice, no options. And I'm gonna throw that out to you guys. Do you guys want to live in hell? For those of you that like, you know, I mean that. Like, do you want to live in hell or do you want to walk through hell? Do you have the balls to walk through hell, to face that reality? Really ask yourself that. Take a moment, think about it. You know, it's the thing. Like, it's all great for me to get up here and like, you know, give my speech, and maybe you guys are expecting like the feel good dating advice. You know, I don't fucking do that shit. I'm not up here to be your friend. I'm not up here to fucking entertain you. I'm up here for one reason. To get you all results, to get you dating the girls that you want. And that's why I wanted to give this speech. This speech is fucking dark. You know, this shit on the internet, people that know me, like people that knew me from high school, are gonna see this, gonna be like, oh, what a loser, couldn't fucking cook up the fat girl. You know, and the reason I have to tell the speech the way it is because there's no other way to give this speech. You guys have to know what you're going into, what that reality is. Because like I said, I want to, all you guys deserve girls. I'm like honestly, I love you guys. Like I think it's fucking awesome how you guys come out and push yourself through this. I can totally relate to that because I was exactly where you guys are sitting. I know what each and every one of you are going through. I know how fucking hard this can be. I know how fucking brutal it can be to be that guy out at the club that girls are just like rejecting left and right, you know? I've been there. I've lived in that reality. And the thing is that, like I said, like there's gonna be moments where you're gonna second guess yourself. You're gonna start thinking it's all a scam. You're gonna want to run to PUA hate and like get on there and fucking be like, fuck Rob Judge, that fucking asshole. And I hope you do. I hope that, like, you know what, if you don't take action and you just sit on your ass and do nothing, fucking call me a scammer, go on PUA hate, like whatever, like trash me on the internet. I don't give a fuck. Like I really don't. Like I said, I'm not up here for any other reason but to get you results. And if you don't want to get yourself results, then too bad. Oh man, I had a note in here. I meant to give a disclaimer. I was gonna say, you know, anyone that doesn't want to hear the truth about pickup, you know, could just get up and leave the room. You know, sorry, I kind of spoiled it because you know, again, like I said, I'm getting up here. I'm trying to give a very honest talk of what's in front of you. Because this stuff is not, you know, again, I think meeting women is fun. I think the whole process is fun. I think you should enjoy it. But I'm also not gonna get up here and say it's easy, you know, because it's not. Because I've been there, you know, like I said, like I've been out at the club, I've been that guy, and it's not easy. But the fact is that it's so fucking rewarding, you know, to have that option. Like the guys I coached this weekend, to watch them over the course, like when a lot of them came in with approach anxiety, and then like last night to watch them just going up to any girls they wanted and having great interactions, getting numbers, getting makeouts, stuff like that. What is better than that? To be able to walk into a nightclub, see the girl you want, and know you got a pretty damn good shot at least like attracting her, getting her phone number, getting her out on a date, making that girl your girlfriend, having those options. What is better than that? Honestly, I would trade all the money in the world. I would trade my job. I'd trade anything for that. when I started out, and like I said, and I was like walking through that hell, I would have traded anything to be successful with women. This is like that's the thing, all this talk of like the community being misogynist and all this stuff, and some of it is, some of it's ridiculous, but at the same time, I think at its core, it's the most genuine appreciation of women. It's that like look, my problem was I love women too much. I was such a nice guy. I wanted to give women everything, and that's the thing, and that was problematic in terms of like the way I was interacting with women. But I genuinely love women, and I love them so much. I went through that hell. I faced that reality every single time because I wanted to be able to learn how to better relate to them, how to better talk to them, how to approach a girl in a way that wouldn't be creepy to her, that would be attractive to her. That's what I wanted because, again, like I said, there's no better reality than to actually realize your success in the real world. And like I said too, I don't want to get up here and come off like I'm the all-powerful guru that like went through the process and now I can approach any girl. Because look, I still get rejected. My students saw me get rejected this weekend. My students also saw me like, doing pretty well with girls. It goes both ways. And the thing is, you gotta love the ups with the downs. It's funny. One of the things I say a lot to my guys is, you just have to go out and you gotta be ready to play to win. One of the things I like to do is I like to play roulette, and not the most healthy habit or most healthy activity, but it's what I like to do. And whenever I'm like in Vegas or even Leicester Square, I like to go out and I like to throw down ridiculous bets on black. And a lot of the times that works well for me. Like a lot of times it hits and I make a lot of money. Like we did a program in Vegas and I won $2,000, throwing down stupid drunk bets on black. And last night I went, I threw down 200 pounds on black, and I lost. And I could be a baby about it. I could cry about it. I could feel bad about it. But you know what? I don't. I think it's funny because you got to take the ups with the downs. If you're ready to win big, you got to be ready to lose big. If you want that like hotter girl, you also have to be ready to take the reality that comes with it. That's the thing. It's like I get emails from guys sometimes, and they want me to like give them a blueprint on how to never get rejected. And that, I just, my eyes fucking glaze over when I get this shit. Because, that to me contradicts everything that this industry is predicated on. Everything about interacting with women is predicated on the highs and the lows. You can't go out and expect things always to be like, always to win in your favor, for the girl always to love you, for you always to do great, to always perform perfectly. Look, I'm a dating coach. I still fuck up plenty, and it's even worse when I do it because then I also have like the coach part of my brain be like, what the fuck, like why are you doing this? And then like the nervous, I get to these like weird internal debates in my own head. But the fact is, I still love that. I still love every aspect of going out and meeting women. Again, and I'm not saying you gotta love rejection. I hate it when people say that, like, oh, I love to get rejected. Pfft, what are you, fucking retarded? I don't love getting rejected, but I accept it. That's the thing. I'm full acceptance of rejection. I'm not afraid of it. I'm just a man about it. And what's really great about coming to that acceptance of rejection, it allows you to then come to an acceptance of the whole timeline of when you meet her to when you have sex with her and when you make her your girlfriend. Because the fact is that most guys expect that timeline to be flawless, right? They think they're gonna go in, they're gonna get the perfect opener. She's just gonna be like, oh. And then he's gonna run some attraction stuff. She's gonna be like, oh. And then he's gonna go and make out with her. She's gonna be like, oh. And then they're just gonna like ride off into the sunset together and fucking have toe curling sex. Does that ever, I have never once had a pickup goal like that. It's like I walk up and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Rob. And she's like, it's girls' night. And I'm like, ha ha, yeah, I know. Like whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then, boom. And then every moment, every time I try to kiss her, like head turns, And again, the thing is that I don't care about, the thing is, all right, don't care, it might sound a little harsh. It's not that I don't care, it's like I respect her boundaries, but I'm not emotionally affected by it. I'm not sitting there getting butthurt when girls don't want to kiss me, when girls don't want to talk to me. In fact, I think, like I said, I just accept it and I just keep going. If a girl says to me, it's girls' night out, that's fine. Like if a girl says to me, I don't give my phone number out, that's fine. I'll tell her I don't give my phone number out either. Let's make an exception for each other. The thing is like I was really trying to hammer with the guys I was coaching this weekend. I think they did a really great job of picking this up. Pickup is not this ballet of like perfectly executed lines and the perfect techniques and like the perfect frame control. No, it's a lot of friction. And really, if you really want to boil what great game is, it's just being okay in those moments of friction. It's being a man and accepting it. Because that's the thing. It's your masculine duty to push the interaction in a certain direction that you want to push it in. That direction, when you push it in that direction, she's going to resist. And it probably has nothing to do with you. You know, she doesn't want to look like a slut. Maybe she doesn't want to look like she's like desperate in front of her friends. Maybe she's just like a little shy. The thing is, like, these guys, it always kills me when these guys internalize this stuff as rejection. I don't see that as rejection at all. When I get that friction, I interpret it as I'm doing something right. And really think about that. When I get friction from girls, when they put the brakes on whatever I'm doing, or, you know, kind of, whenever I see that friction come up, I interpret that as a sign I'm moving in the right direction, that I'm doing something correctly. In fact, if I ever had a pickup that went from like me walking up to a girl to me going home and having sex with her, and it was totally flawless, she was probably a hooker. That was probably not a normal girl. Because that's the thing, is it's never like that. I have approached and picked up so many girls, and every single time, I know I'm gonna hit friction at some point in the interaction. And like I said, it's just like coming to acceptance with that rejection. You want to come to an acceptance with that social friction. Because the more that you can accept that, the better your game's going to become. The better you're going to be at approaching women. Because that's the thing, like, what really sucks is when guys have this expectation that everything's going to go great, that the minute you hit some social friction, it's going to affect your confidence. You're looking for her to externally validate what you're doing. Whereas your validation has to come from yourself. And that's what I said in the beginning, like living your life by your own standards. What are your standards? And I don't mean that in like a Tony Robbins self-help kind of way. What I mean, when I say like, what are your standards? Ask yourself, what do you want to be doing? You see that hot girl. What do you want to be doing? Do you want to be sitting there like a fucking stalker, drooling over her? Or do you want to be the guy that walks up and approaches her? When you're talking to her, do you want to be the guy who's asking her who lies more, men or women? No, well, that's kind of like an old school one. What's like, I don't know, whatever stupid thing that like guys say to girls and they have no interest in saying it, don't be that guy. The guy I want to be when I approach a girl is I want to be the guy that tells her, first of all, that she's fucking hot. I want to be shameless about it. I want her to love it. You know, she might not, and when she doesn't, I'll just keep being shameless about it. Like I said, like me and my best friend and wingman and business partner, I don't know if you guys know Zack Bauer, but I really kind of like understood what this meant to be shameless watching Zack. It was funny, and I told the story to my students this morning, and this was like the definitive moment that I really saw what shamelessness really was. I remember me and Zack we were walking through the park one day, and some girl she was like sunbathing, and she was in a bikini, and Zack just looked at her, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're gorgeous!" And the girl just looked at him like, look at disgust. She goes, "You're disgusting." And I remember, like, for most guys, that'd be game over. It'd be so sad. Zack, what he did was he goes, "Woo!" That was his reaction. "Woo! Thank you." And then what else can that girl do but laugh? What else are you gonna do? So many times I've watched Zack like approach girls and then be like, "Now get away from me, you're ugly, you're fat," and him be like, "Ha, yeah, so let's go to the shake shop, yeah, so you have lovely cheekbones, blah blah blah," and he just keeps saying stuff until, because if you just hang in there and she sees that you're not visibly affected by that rejection, eventually something you say is gonna click, she's gonna laugh, and the minute a girl smiles or laughs, that's like, and this is kind of like a brutal analogy, but you know that scene in like Rocky IV where Rocky makes Ivan Drago bleed and like Mick's like, he's just a man, he's just a human. That's the way these girls are. To the average guy, these girls look like these ice bitches, like ice princess bitches, like these like club goddesses when they're all dressed up like that. But when you can get a girl like that to laugh, and I have, you realize that she's just a girl. She's just like you. She has feelings, she has emotions. And again, it sounds so fucking obvious, but most guys, and again, like, I'm sitting here, you're probably like, oh yeah, girls are just girls. Like, how fucking obvious is this, Rob? But the thing is, I hope my voice is in your head when you see that hot girl. Because when you see that hot girl at the club, she no longer just looks like a girl anymore. Suddenly she looks like she's like a fucking goddess, And it's tough, it's a mind fuck. It's what gets all of us. It's why, most of you guys don't approach those hotter girls, because it's scary. You don't want to find out that reality about that girl. You'd rather just live in hope land. Be like, oh, maybe one day I'll approach that girl. One thing, just a quick tangent. I said I wasn't going to go off on tangents, but just one thing. Whenever I see a guy just shamelessly approach a girl like that, no matter how even like if it's a horrible approach and the girl like totally blows him off, I'm just like, dude, that guy's awesome. Like fuck yeah, dude. Like, it's just, yeah. You know, and that's the thing. You guys should all be that guy. Like, so that's the thing. It's like that, living your life by your standards, right? So again, I guess like, and I don't want to make this like this talk too intellectual or too much like, oh, here's like XYZ exercise. You know, I'm sure you guys got a lot of those exercises here, so I don't want to, you know, and again, I'm sure they're all great, but I don't want to like, you know, give you more like homework to do. But you know, there's one thing you should ask yourself when you're approaching this girl. Just ask yourself, what are your standards? What's the right thing to do? When you see that hot girl, what do you want to be doing? What conversation do you want to have with this girl? You know, Zack and I created this. We have this like strategy that we call it like a strategy. It's like it's a funny thing that Zack and I created that we just do. We call it the Pacino, and what it is, it's like basically we always say to each other like, "Yo, Pacino that chick, do the Pacino." And what we mean by when we say that is, you write the script in your head. There should be a script in your head how this interaction is going to go down. Maybe you want to walk up and say, "Oh, you are my new girlfriend for the night. You are absolutely adorable. Let's go on our first date." Right? You've written that script in your head. You and her, boyfriend, girlfriend for the night. Chances are she probably hasn't gotten the memo. She didn't get the script. She might be like, "I'm not your girlfriend. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, yeah, girlfriend, come on, let's go get a drink. And the thing is like, if you keep that script in your own head, you're doing the Pacino. The reason we call it the Pacino is because, like, you know, think about Al Pacino. The guy's a legendary actor. The guy shows up to like shoot a movie. That guy's sticking to the script, hell or high water. There's like no way you can get Al Pacino to go off the script. The guy's such a great actor that he sticks to the script. And you don't have to be an actor. I'm not advocating you guys do an act. But write the script in your head. What is it? What's the script going to be for you and that girl? Is it going to be that you're going to meet her and get her number? Is it going to be that you meet her and take her home? Is it going to be that you meet her and you just met your new girlfriend? You have to write that script in your head and stick to it. And when she doesn't maybe get the memo, she kind of like throws up a little friction, have acceptance with that. Acceptance as a man, to just accept that social friction. And you know, I want to wrap this up. Like I don't want to like, you know, I know I kind of talk in circles about this stuff because I really enjoy it. I think it's so important. But you know, I just want to kind of give another story. Like right after when I first started like really like reading this stuff and reading up on it and studying this stuff. I remember I was sitting in Starbucks and I saw this girl, and this was like this was right after like maybe a month, 2 months after that fat girl story, and you know, I was still not good at meeting women at all. I knew nothing. I didn't know any opening lines. I'd read maybe Double Your Dating. That was about the extent of my you know, dating advice knowledge, and I remember I just saw this girl in a Starbucks, and I thought she was beautiful. You know, I saw this girl and I really wanted to approach her. It really took me a lot to overcome my approach anxiety. And I was sitting there and I had a notebook and I kept writing like these ifs, like if I could approach that girl, or if maybe I was a little better looking, or if I was a little taller, or if I was better dressed. And I was writing all these ifs because that was the thoughts going through my head. And you know, as a writer, sometimes I just like to write like exactly what my thought process is. And I was writing all these ifs. And I did this for like a half hour. And just by like luck, this girl sat there like she was just kind of in her own world. I think she was like reading a script. And you know, I kept writing, and eventually I was like, all right, you know, I just have to approach her. I just have to like at least try. So I said I could do it. And it's funny, I didn't even approach her. What I did was I wrote my phone number on a piece of paper, and I wrote her like a little gay note, and I threw it at her, and then I ran away. I literally like full sprint out of the Starbucks. Worst approach ever, right? But that girl ended up calling me back. I mean, ended up dating. Pretty fucking weird, right? Pretty crazy story. Pretty like all you guys know, like that every rule was broken on that pickup. But what you guys don't know is that girl was a model from Poland. She was here for like 6 months, had no friends, wanted a boyfriend. I happened to be the first guy to throw a phone number at her in Starbucks. She called me back, and we dated. You know, and the reason I tell that story is not to emphasize my great pickup, because it's fucking horrible. But the reason I tell that story is because you don't know the reality of anything. Yeah, like I said, I kind of gave you that very realistic worldview that, you know, reality might not always be great. It might not all be like sunshine and rainbows when you approach girls. But also, too, you don't know. That's the whole idea of living in reality, not living in hope. You have no fucking idea what that girl's going through, what's going on in her mind, and you might be exactly the guy she's looking for. And the only time that you don't know that is when you live in hope, when you live in fantasy land. So really, guys, I just want to end this speech by just really, really hammering home that, like, look, you guys came out, You guys spent so much time listening to speakers, getting this great information. You guys have invested in yourself, you know, in terms of your time, your money, your effort. I'm sure most of you have been in this pickup community for a long time, and you guys have to all ask yourself, how much of that reality are you willing to face? Are you willing, if you do like one approach a day, how much is that really living in reality? You have to really ask yourself, every single hot girl you see, that reality, that truth, that's waiting for you. And you have to man up, put that first foot forward, silence all the internal fucking noise and bullshit and the woulda, shoulda, couldas, the ifs, what ifs, silence all that. Put it on mute. Say, that girl's for me. First foot forward, approach, find out reality. Thanks, guys.